Week 2 of the Kirby Air Riders demo is here, and in between episodes of craving the ability to play this game again, I had the chance to reflect on my first day of playing the game, specifically in regards to the supposedly secret island in the sky. I made it there quite often, but only with the lighter characters that have naturally high flight capabilities, or specials that just cheat the process entirely. Yet whenever I tried to reach the island with a heavy character, I never could seem to make it, no matter how high I managed to get my glide stat. So I went into this week's first session with a goal: to make these fat sats a cake reach that ever-coveted treasure trove in the sky. Though I should mention, I initially intended to show off DDD, Chef, and Rick reaching the island, since they're the fattest of the bunch, but for better or for worse, it seems that after the first week, Rick ran himself out and had to be put down. He might be missed. Now, I should quick mention that with the final game's release, if you can get your hands on the legendary machine Dragoon, you'll probably be able to make it to the island with basically no stats at all. But with 16 players running around the map, it's probably not the most reliable idea to go on. For the first game, I opted to go DDD, because he's the king and probably will be my main once the final game releases. Unfortunately, the supposedly secret island didn't spawn this game, so I just had to play it out normally and see what happened. I actually did manage to get my glide and top speed stats pretty high, which are easily the two most important stats to reach said island, but that doesn't stop me from being extremely bad at the game and ruining the easiest stadium for someone twice. I'm very proud of myself. For the second game, since I don't anticipate my luck going too well for a long time, I decided to swap over to Chef Kawasaki instead, as I figured that if this guy, with a special that probably won't help him reach the islands, if he can make it, any character can. I get lucky with an early rare box event and even a wing star after not too long, so it's all about just pumping up those stats however I can and working my way higher and higher in Skya. After about 2 minutes, I have enough glide to make it to the first island from the volcano, but not nearly enough to make it to Narnia, so I keep looking around for more stats until a very helpful event happens. Between machines flying more easily and the rowdy charge tank, I knew that getting to the island wouldn't just be easy, but it may as well be cheating. So after I grabbed the stat boost off the island, I head back down to Skya and prepare for a more proper attempt. And yeah, it was completely possible, at least with the wing star. These are the stats I had at the end. Note that I made it there the second time with one less top speed and weight than shown. It's not important, but I also just want to say I crushed 2 Starmen at high jump, including one with the wing star. So either Sakurai decided to mega buff the heavies in the air during the last week, or I used the wing star a lot less than I thought I did last week. We're not done here though. I've proven that with the Wingstar specifically, the most aerial supreme machine in the game that isn't the Dragoon, even heavies can get to the island. But what about some other machines, like the Paper Star or the Shadow Star? Well, after starting my next game that actually had the island with a massive amount of top speed boost due to an event, and then running around getting pretty lucky with glide patches, I make my attempt. Well, that was stupid easy. I probably had 14 or 15 top speed patches when I made my attempt, so I think my biggest piece of advice for reaching this area is that while you'll definitely need plenty of glide to have the lift necessary to make it to the island, if you can boost your top speed to an insane level, it'll make it a piss easy for the heavies to get there. I think this was what my issue was last week. I wasn't gaining nearly as much top speed as I should have been, so I'd lose my lift before I could even make it to the island. I was in such disbelief when this happened that I had to make the chip twice more to even begin to realize just how stupid I was. But surely this is only so easy because it's the 2 super flight machines, right? Surely the Shadow Star, with its only relatively above average flight abilities, would struggle to— oh no, never mind, it was a cinch. I think my issues last week mainly boiled down to not realizing just how vital top speed is to reaching the island, as well as not really ever hard focusing on specific patch types. I would usually just roam around grabbing what I felt like and hoped it would eventually work. I wanted to try out the Warp Star since it's the most basic of the basic machines, but don't have enough time this round, so after losing the high jump contest due to a bad machine, I swap over to the Roach to try him out for the first time and also see if the Warp Star can reach it there. The Roach is decently heavy in his own right, and with less flight speed, but slightly more lift than most heavies. The match starts out pretty average, gaining stats at a solid rate and even trying out the Shadow Dropped Vampire Star. Wonder how many of you I spoiled that for. If you're mad, feel free to comment and like down below to show your anger towards me. I look forward to it. I swap to the first Warp Star I see though, and about 3 minutes into the round, the UFO pops in, which I clear out most of the power-ups for and begin to make my attempt. I actually end up being just shy of the island with 12 top speed and 10 glide, and even with 11 glide and a slightly different tactic, I just barely can't reach it. Though after using DeRoche's special to achieve a faster liftoff, I managed to make it to the island with ease. I absolutely crush it in air glider, but I'm still not done with experiments, though honestly I should have been. Rather than testing another heavy I'm convinced can make it now, which the only heavy that's really left is Susie, the fat ass that she is apparently, I wanted to test the other newcomer to this week's demo, Waddle Dee, as he's in a reverse situation to the heavies. Light as a feather basically, with insanely good lift, but horrible flight speed and top speed. With 9 glide and 3 top speed, I'm not even close, so I go back down and after getting 12 glide and 6 top speed, we make it without any issues. I'm not sure what the stat scaling is here, but apparently you only needed a little bit more. I'm still not entirely convinced that they didn't just randomly decide to change the flight mechanics to be more extreme, but I really do think that after this pointless video, the issue I was having boiled down to a lack of top speed more than anything. So there you have it. If you want to make it to the island in the sky without abusing Starman or Meta Knight's specials, you'll want plenty of glide and even more top speed. Also, Rick is dead and we have killed him.